Los Angeles, California, home of the stars.
And for the rest of you, this meeting is being recorded.
Yes,
Good
we
morning,
record.
America. He's Michael.
We
Knight, and
record
he
this meeting
is
all the
in
time for
Los
two
Angeles,
reasons.
California.
The first one is to get rid of that annoying underarm sound that we get when I talk.
An annoying underarm.
The other is so can repost it on social media, including YouTube.
None of that sticky white stuff.
Yes, none of that sticky white stuff, said Katie Winters. Whatever happened to her?
I think she was, she left this earth after a bar fight in Milwaukee. Or was that Charles Barkley?
Might have been Barkley.
Yeah, I got them confused.
Might have been Barkley. You happen to see the cold open to Saturday Night Live?
I did not. I haven't watched it.
It's not the cold open. It's the first segment. Excuse me. Watch it. It's pretty funny, and I mention it because Kenan Thompson playing Charles Barkley is in it.
Oh, really? Is he selling sandwiches or something?
No, he's selling whatever Charles Barkley sells. A great line of bull.
Well, they've got someone who sounds like Charles Barkley on the Subway commercials.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. They don't show him and you don't say Charles Barkley. It just sounds like him.
Yes. Well, listen, the Subway commercials have needed somebody since Jarrett.
Well, it was a hard role. Not everybody wanted that job.
You probably don't even want to.
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that job. Wait, there's more to it than you understand. It's not about sandwiches.
No, it's about proven results.
By the way, if you meet someone who claims to be an authority on anything and he uses the word sandwich, you can just disregard the rest of what he has to say.
I actually hold people that use sandwich, and it's probably because I've been hanging out with you for so many years. But I hide anybody who uses the word sandwich. I immediately ask them if they lived in San Francisco. And then I ask them if they know you. And if they give me a thumbs up to both, then we got something.
There's also an alternative pronunciation, and it's far rarer than sandwich, and it's sandwich. Have you ever heard that one? We're going, come on over. We're having sandwiches.
A sangy instead of a Sammy.
It's something Christopher Hitchens would never say, but I think he would understand the motivation.
Well, Mikey, you don't really know what somebody's going to say until they say it, right?
Well, then we have limited opportunities to run it by him because he's quite dead. So there's that.
Yeah. Remember, I'm sure you're going to remember this place, but, long before Subway, well, it wasn't before Subway. It was when Subway was, I think, probably still on the East Coast predominantly. There was a great sandwich shop in San Francisco called Viking. Remember the Viking?
I do. I vaguely remember the Viking.
It was one right on the corner of Haight and Schrader.
I was never into the cold cut thing. Like a hero sandwich to me is not food. It's some sort of an offering.
But the Mighty Viking was, it was just this, it was the one place, well, with two distinct advantages to Viking. Many of them, not all of them, but many of them were open until like 3:00 in the morning.
That's good. That's good.
It immediately puts them on the chart. And then the one in the Haight was up the block from my house, but also right next to Rockin' Robins. Which was, if anybody who lived in the Haight in the 80s knew about Rockin' Robins, I think it's still there in some form.
I hope so.
Manner of form. But it was, and it was a great, excellent place. And
what did you like on their menu, especially?
They had a sandwich called the Mighty Viking. That was
stick to what you do best, right?
Exactly. And it was ham, provolone cheese, what do you call it? A salami, some other kind of, it might be capicola on there, assorted Italian cold cuts.
Sure.
With lettuce, tomato, oil and vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
A layer of cheese. Then they slapped it in the oven.
Oh, heated it up. Now we're talking.
When they heated it up, it definitely gave you a distinct flavor that
The oil and vinegar and
a
melted.
lot of places weren't doing.
No, oil and vinegar with melted cheese. Now we're talking something here.
It was a great sandwich store, and the place was an improv theater really at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning with Rock and Robbins closed. I think they stay open till 3 actually.
Yeah.
The guy that worked in there was a great guy. He worked by himself. I always felt so sorry for this guy.
He had long days.
He had long hair too. He had long days. I think he might have been the owner of the store. I forget now, but this guy worked a ton of hours and was just such a nice guy. And every once in a while, if I'd go in there, because like I said, I lived down the block, and he was swamped, I'd go behind the counter and help him.
Whoa.
Just kind of take money and, hand people their chips and their sodas and stuff like that. And just kind of, just hang with him for a half hour or something, because I felt so sorry for this guy that, he was just back there cranking out sandwiches.
Oh, yes.
And trying to feed a lot of drunken, disorderly people.
I'm fine with the sandwich when you see it in its finished state. It looks so innocent. But if you track it back to where they got the provolone and where they got the thing, you're just talking about a big log of meat.
Yeah.
And I have to say, and I do apologize to the Italian food industry, but I'm very suspicious of a log of meat. And I don't eat that stuff.
Well,
and I'm not that particular. I eat a lot of things.
A good Italian place, a good Italian cold cut will a lot of times be not just a log of meat, but meat that has been compressed, that has been cured, and not just chopped up, whatever bits,
horse hooves.
Yeah, bits and pieces. In now the horse hooves, I think they have to use in the salami for to hold it together.
Yeah, it's a law.
Yeah, I think it is. But there's some like prosciutto is a ham that's just cut, cured and cut on egg. That's why when you buy a prosciutto, they put the thin paper between the slices of prosciutto because
it's so delicate.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So anyway, this Mighty Viking place, I believe the last time I went through the Haight-Ashbury, it was still there.
Excellent.
And I don't know if the same guy runs it or owns it or anything like that, but it for my money was the way best sandwich. There wasn't anybody that made a sandwich. Matter of fact, I always thought it was the best sandwich on the West Coast.
Not all the Italian delis in the old style Italian delis in North Beach made sandwiches. They would sell you many things over the counter, delicatessen style, but didn't always make the sandwich to go with it.
Right. I don't think you could go into Molinari and get a sandwich. You could buy a provolone, you could buy the salami, you could buy a nice piece of Italian bread.
Salami and cheese, go make your own. Yeah. Salami, cheese, and bread, go make your own.
Yeah. Here's a plastic knife, go cut it open and go sit under the tree in Washington Square and eat your sandwich. But
you know who the statue is in Washington Square? And you can guess Washington. Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, is it? Okay. Where is the Columbus statue then?
Probably in front of the church on St. Peter's and Paul's. Maybe not.
Well, that's Washington Square, isn't it? Right across the street. Maybe it's two statues.
No, that's the square. But it's just funny. The Washington Square does not have a statue of Washington in it.
Well, so named because it's Washington Street, right?
Yeah, but same guy.
Well, you know what, Mikey? I have found out in my travels that Washington Boulevard Street Avenue is not always named after the same guy, after George Washington. There are a few other Washingtons, the streets.
Well, there's Alphonse Washington. Remember Alphonse? We used to have him on the show all the time. And he was a comedian, but also a criminal is the best way to say it. So he's no longer in our Rolodex, but he was named after the state of Washington.
Yeah, well, when there's an R in it, then you definitely have been named. Yeah, once you slap an R into something like that, you've committed the ultimate crime. You've taken George out of the equation and stuck Louis from Puyallup
I believe that's pronounced pig wallop. Wasn't it the Babe that came up with that?
I don't remember. We should have her. We should.
I think it was a Fabulous Sports Babe that came up with pig wallop, Washington.
Yeah, that was. She also came up with what now nobody would know that she's talking about, but in those days, rich boy car phone.
Yeah. Speaking of the Fabulous Sports Babe, there was a lot of football this weekend.
Yes, many games.
And most of them were just bloody awful. They were not an indication of the level of play in the National Football League. They were an indication rather of how many insignificant teams there are in the National Football League.
Well, yeah, but yet I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFC, the top 4 seeds are the teams that remain so far.
Yeah, but we still had to put up with the Raiders, the Bills, and the Patriots, the Bucks, and the Eagles. The Eagles, my God.
Don't be dissing on the Buffalo Bills, pal.
I'm not. I'm actually a fan of the Buffalo Bills, and they had an extraordinary game. 47-12 was the final. So that get 47-17. I'm sorry. My 2's can look like a 7. Well, yeah, especially when it's so damn cold.
It was an emotional day in that, there were some teams that I really wanted to see.
Like the Steelers.
Advance. Yeah, I want to see the Steelers advance, but, once again, penalties and interceptions and the things that you're not supposed to do right. Right that you don't.
The teams that lost had a big challenge among them, and they all had the same challenge. They were not familiar with the idea of getting a first down. They could go 3 and out, but getting a first down and matriculating down the field, they didn't know that so much.
Well, I think aren't there mandates against matriculating right now?
Yeah, but if you want to win, if you're playing the Cowboys and you want to win, you got to matriculate. If you're playing the Bills and you intend to come back, you got to matriculate. This idea of 3 and out. What were the Steelers' first 7 possessions were all punts?
Yeah. Well, there's also a Ben Roethlisberger that sometimes tries a little too hard.
He did want it to happen, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's it. If Ben Roethlisberger on field has a fault, I really think that's part of it, is that he really he's still in that mode of his life or his career where he can snap his fingers and thinks he can make something happen. And it's probably why his exit is almost a foregone conclusion here.
I don't think he should quit. I think what they need to get him is somebody that can catch the ball. There was a lot of drop passes.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. He's inconsistent. One game you'll watch him, and he'll get the ball where he needs to get it. He won't get it intercepted. In the next game, he looks like an 18-year-old kid out there, running around all over the place and not being able to put the ball anywhere where he wants to, except in an opposing defensive back's hands.
A lot of the checkoffs were thrown too high or too low.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think he's gone. I think he's done. That's it. That's all. He had his warm night of appreciation from the fans.
Yeah.
At Heinz Field. A beautiful thing. I wrote about it on Facebook. I said, I hope that Russell Wilson and the Seahawks and Pete Carroll all figure this out so that Russell Wilson in 8 more years will have a night like that or a day like that where he will walk around the ring there at whatever they're calling it this week, field, and
Spank Boy Field.
Yeah, the Spank Boy Stadium, and he'll enjoy that. The thing that can only come when you are with one team your entire career.
Yes.
It was so sad to me to see Ken Griffey Jr. leave here. All those many years ago, because there's something about a player playing his career with one team that forms a bond that there's only one way you get it, right?
And he never had it in his travels. He never was the same thing to the market. He never was the same thing to the team.
Never felt the love until he came back here the last 2 years.
Right.
That was the only time I think he ever felt that connection to an audience, to a city. No matter, no matter who or where he went or who he played with or anything, there was no connection for him greater. No crowd cheered for him harder than the crowd
right here. Yeah. Hometown. He was the kid.
Well, we watched him grow up,
And for the rest of the people who saw him as their new teammate, he wasn't the kid. He was a veteran. And and he really wasn't in the mood to.
He was an old guy who was trying to tack on
Yeah.
another year to his career.
Yes.
We always remember the great part of Ken Griffey Jr. We forget that final year when he was, 2010, when he was sitting in, or 2011, I guess it was, where, he'd be sitting in the clubhouse in the recliner.
He puts on his shoes kind of slow. What's the deal with that? He's older than you.
He's high mileage.
Yeah.
High maintenance. He's high mileage.
One of the exciting games from yesterday was the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I know the Cowboys are very bitter about the way it ended and about the way they lost and about all the penalties in the game. They were throwing garbage at the referees as they were leaving the field. And Dak Prescott said, I didn't say I applaud them. He says, that's a credit to the crowd. But I have another way to look at it. The 49ers tried to give that game away. They tried it about 3 different ways. And here's my message to the Green Bay Packers. If you want to beat the 49ers at Lambeau, well, pretty much that's guaranteed that you're going to do it. If you're playing them at Lambeau and it's freezing, you got the edge on the 49ers every time. Their number one pass rusher, Nick Bosa, is injured. Their number one linebacker, Warner, is injured. And all you have to do is make Jimmy Garoppolo roll out to the right. Make him roll to the right and just wait. He'll throw the ball to you. He's done it in the last 3 games. He did it yesterday. He tried to do it again, but Dallas couldn't catch it. Jimmy's accuracy when he's throwing to the deep backs is not what it used to be, I guess.
Usually he float the ball for some reason.
Usually he nails it right to the defensive back and gives him like a 30-yard head start. He'll leave the field going, oh, damn. But that's only because he has no idea why he's doing it. He can't stop himself. He can't control himself, and he cannot better himself. When he rolls to the right, just wait. He's going to throw the ball to you. And that's the last good thing I'm going to do for Green Bay with your Lion quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. But there you have it. That's all you have to do to win.
Yeah. I'm hoping, and I know it's tough to beat Green Bay at home. The 49ers tried it as they may to give that game away to the Cowboys, but the Cowboys just couldn't take it. And, I thought Jerry Jones, and I'm not a Jerry Jones fan by any shape, manner, or form, but I think he had a very interesting and honest thing to say after the game. And that was this game wasn't about this coming down to this last play. That's what you people are all going to talk about, but that's not what it was about. It was about the way we played the entire game. We shouldn't have been in that position, to have to worry about spiking a ball or a timeout with 2 seconds left to go in a game.
And with 14 seconds, you can't run 19 yards up the middle of the field with no timeouts. That's something that Pop Warner would try.
Yeah.
And I don't mean Pop Warner. I mean a kid playing Pop Warner.
Well, it's that. Well, no, I think Pop Warner would try that too. I think Pop was, publicly wasn't known for his skills, his running skills, but the word was around the league that Pop could, bust a nut with anybody.
He was pretty quick getting in line at the Viking, I'll tell you that.
Oh, let me tell you, two mighty Vikings and 2 bottles of Dad's root beer to go.
Can't go wrong with Dad's.
I found a place here that has it, Mikey. I was euphoric on Friday night. I went to the dollar store, which is one of those places I love going to. And they had cases upon cases of Dad's root beer and diet and regular. And I am just a fan of Dad's root beer. So I picked me up a case.
Did you go regular or diet?
Oh, diet, yeah. Because, with root beer, many people will not tell you this or not realize this, but root beer and orange soda are the only two sodas that taste as good in their diet form as they do in their sugared regular form.
I'm worried about America, where people are willing to drink Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi because it tastes like something terrible has happened in there.
Yeah, there's some colas.
And there are Americans who will argue with you over that.
I will not argue, because I've been drinking it long enough to know that there are some colas that and other flavors too. 7-Up is another one.
Oh,
lemon lime, a diet lemon lime. It tastes like a chemical reaction is going off in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly, precisely.
So I won't bother him for years. I mean, I always drink, or almost always drink diet soda. Every once in a while, I sneak a sugared one in, just for the heck of it, for the thrill. That's life these days, Mikey. I'm getting a thrill off of sugared soda. I love the Mexican Coke, that you go.
Yes, I do too.
With the real cane sugar, but 2 of those a week, and you'll be at the diabetic hospital before long.
Someone's got to go there.
I don't want it to be me. I don't like the whole idea of getting diabetes scares me, and the whole idea of anybody else getting it, because I see what happens to people when they get it. It's not.
It can be very tough.
Yeah, and there's a certain factor of people giving up when they get it. Say, all right, well, I'm destined to go. I may as well enjoy myself. And that's not the case. I know, people in my family that have contracted it and do a good job of maintaining what they need to maintain to keep their insulin levels correctly.
The earth was shaken this weekend, Vinny, by two things: the Hunga Tunga Hunga Ha'apai volcano, and Novak Djokovic. And someone would have mentioned that the Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai volcano was building up pressure for 1,000 years before it blew. And Novak Djokovic just lied to the authorities and blamed it on his manager. But he still got the better headlines.
I'm done with him, man. I'm done with all of these people that
where he thinks he's going. He's going to try the same shit with the French Open.
Yeah, well, they don't see the Australians run a fairly peaceful country down here. They like to fight among themselves, drive on the wrong side of the street and chase vehicle accidents.
And they got their own football league.
Yeah, their own, with rules that nobody to this day, even the people that are playing in it, can really.
They do this a lot.
Why does he dress like that?
Yeah. He won't answer. They won't answer about that.
No, and they speak better English than we do.
They can.
Be that as it may, the French aren't going to have any of that crap. The French say, listen, we don't care who you are, what you know, who you know. Just don't come to our country.
No, first of all, he shows up and they
comply with our law, and it's right up there on the flag: a liberty, equality, fraternity. Freedom.
You're not in our fraternity.
Yeah, you want to be with us? Great. Join the fraternity, get the shot. If you don't, stay home. And I see these anti-vaxxers, and they're praising this guy. This guy's an idiot.
And he had it and went to a photo shoot and an interview, knowing that he was carrying the disease.
You don't care.
He doesn't care.
It's another one. It's all about him. It's not about the safety of people. It's not about complying with something because it sends a message to people. It's all about me. And when I see people like that, I don't wish COVID on anybody, Michael, but pal, I'm sick of your act. Go, you get paid a lot of money to go play tennis.
And the vaccine is free.
You got no excuse. Go get your vaccine, shut your trap, and play tennis or disappear. You don't want the vaccine? Disappear.
Welcome to France. You're in Paris, the city of lights. Yeah, I'm a Serbian and I'm not getting vaccinated. Well, that's interesting, but get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh, we don't need you here. Go peddle your go get a job at a Mighty Viking on Haight Street and see what that life is like for a night.
They're open till 3.
Yeah, you'll be down at Dr. Moon's free clinic there on Haight and Ashbury the next day, trying to get your vaccine.
Um, you know, Novak Djokovic was never a likable, lovable character. He loved getting under people's skin, and now he's under his own skin.
Yeah, only because he won't let the needle under his skin.
I'm sorry. I think he's afraid. He's afraid now to backtrack and say that he was wrong. He'll never say it.
Then you know what? Disappear. And again, I give the media a little bit of blame here because you know what? If you don't want it, I don't know, maybe they just shouldn't publicize it. You don't want to get the vaccine, he can't play. 2 lines in a column. That's it. That's all I need to know.
He can't play.
He doesn't want to conform with what public health officials deem to be a necessary thing that you have to do right now.
Why does he comply with the rules of tennis? I mean, can't he score it the way he wants and win the way he wants and just say the game's over, I won? We haven't done anything. No, the game's over, I won.
Yeah. Well, he shouldn't have to do that. They should give him a little 5-cent plastic cup, send him home. You know, one of those little trophies you buy in the dollar store.
Oh yeah.
Write his name on it in felt tip pen. Hand him the thing and say, all right, you go home. Next.
I don't know if he lives in Serbia, but something tells me he lives in Dubai or someplace in some tax-free apartment, and there's going to be fewer and fewer places where he's welcome.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's always somebody that will welcome him because he has money. But yeah, they'll go find a place where they're yeah, come on, live here, build your house here, build this here, build that here, do what you want to do, have your harem or whatever, how many of the wives you want to bring in.
Some people don't call them harems.
Brother wives.
Some people call harems harems. Have you ever heard that?
No. Some people call Oreos.
That's just wrong. I can go with a harem, but not an Oreo.
Can you please give me 5 Oreos and a glass of MLK? I'd like to take it up to my harem.
We're having a special on Dad's root beer.
All you can drink. $1 a bottle.
You know, here in Los Angeles, the dollar stores now charge $1.25.
False advertising.
They're going to change all the signs. It's going to cost them more than the raise in price.
Take them to court. Take dollar store to court. I'm sure somebody will file a class act. There's some lawyer, probably as we're speaking, in an office in Los Angeles, trying to come up with a lawsuit that will be a class action lawsuit that will say anybody who bought something for more than $1 in a dollar store between X date and Y date is entitled to a 12-cent refund. Look for your check in the mail.
He says, those fools, I've got them right where I want them. They walked right into it.
And they always do this. They get this humongous amount. They settle for $30 million.
Court
and
costs.
Everybody gets a check for 12 cents.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, you don't get to see the actual math that goes into that.
Okay.
One for me, one for me, one for me, one for you, one for me, one for me, one for you, 1, 2. Oh, look, 2 for me.
I just was wondering how it happened like that because it just never see. I mean, I'm thinking if this lawyer is getting $30 million and he probably has never shopped in a dollar store in his life, and I've spent the better part of a day a week there, maybe I ought to come out with a little bit more on this thing than he should.
Well, what are your favorite items besides Dad root beer that you can find in the dollar store?
White Castle hamburgers.
No.
Yes, watch the expiration dates though.
This expired in the Truman administration.
I'm just saying, check the expiration dates. Stationery. Regular like scratch pads and things like that. If I need something like that, they seem to have really good deals on that. What else did I grab in the once? Oh, what did I bought sheet holder downers.
Okay, corner holders.
Yeah, so that the sheets don't, I'm an active sleeper.
Oh, I am too. I have to remake the bed every night.
Yeah. So, 3 o'clock in the morning, one sheet's here, one blanket's over there. It looks like a battlefield. So when I put these things on, it actually holds the sheet down.
And the technical name is sheet holder downers.
Yeah, the sheet holder downers. I don't know. Maybe it probably has a better name than that, but
No.
if
That's
I go
got
to
to be the
cashier
name.
and I say, "Excuse me, do you have sheet holder downers?" She invariably looks at me and says, "Oh yeah, aisle 3,
Aisle 3.
right next to Bobby Darin's artificial flowers."
Right next to the window opener thingy.
And Franco-American
SpaghettiOs.
Franco-American Chef Boyardee macaronis in a can are usually under $1, and I will be one of those people that will admit that every once in a while, like for a quick lunch.
Did I read that correctly? That Chef Boyardee's been hanging out with Prince Andrew and Giselle Maxwell?
I think they're trying to form they're looking for a loft to let right now in downtown New York.
They want to open a restaurant, or so they would say. That's what they would tell you.
I think that they're going to go down there and they're going to find a place, red, white, and green it up, and it'll be Chef Boyardee's Franco-American Spaghetti and Sex Club.
What's on the teen special today, Chef Boyardee?
Meat ravioli.
Meat ravioli and cheerleaders.
That wouldn't be a bad name for an album, right? Franco-Americans. Chef Boyardee's Franco-American Ravioli Club and Pizza and Pizzeria and Sex Club.
Chef Boyardee Party House.
Kind of puts everything all into one slot. You got the people who are upset about the pizza place in Washington. They could go there and they would probably be right. You have kids would come from all over because they, wow, Franco-American SpaghettiOs, I'm going.
Yeah,
and it's not
after hours SpaghettiOs.
And every bed equipped with sheet holder downers.
That's what I was thinking. Who's got the sheet holder downers?
Yeah, I think we should put that on the list. And as soon as we get the prayer towels,
Mikey sheet holder downers,
we should have Mikey Vinnie sheet holder downers. Come on, Mikey, it's a natural.
No, I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to do the promo. Oh.
Your sheets flying off the bed. It's not you. You need Mikey and Vinnie sheet holder downers.
Well, actually, it is you, but you still need them.
Yeah. They come in 8 different flavors.
And one of them is SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, of course. Well, if they're gonna be, sponsoring this thing, we got to give them some kind of visibility.
Oh God, I was laughing so hard I can't see. Funny, when I laugh sitting on this couch, it hurts me right under my rib. When I really laugh,
wow,
it gets me right there. Just saying.
Don't check out on me while we're doing the show, please.
Oh no, I'm not going to die. Well, that's a bit of an overstatement. But
yeah, I would say that you're moving into Pat Robertson territory now.
Well, the Lord said he shall not die. He shall live forever amongst us.
Yeah, well, look what happened to the Lord.
Yeah, not valid in parts of Texas or the world.
Right. It took him 3 days to get up again.
Well, first thing that you do when you die is don't get in the cave. That's what I always tell everyone. They say you're dead, but come on, get a second opinion. Do not go in the cave.
If they, too bad stethoscopes didn't come along for another 1,500 years.
Which came first, stethoscopes or sheet holder downers?
Definitely the sheet holder downers. I mean, I saw the sheet holder downers in the Flintstones.
That was before they had form-fitted sheets.
Right. Because you had to use the flat sheet, and the flat sheet would always come flying off.
Flying off. It's like a rubber band that comes flying.
Oh yeah. Well, you have the sheet, you put it under the thing, but that rock hard piece of slab of stone moves, and there goes your sheet. You don't want that to happen, Mikey. So
I think we should find out who invented the sheet holder downer, and we should adore him when his birthday comes every year.
You know what, Mikey? I don't think that's a bad idea. I think America always needs a holiday to celebrate. So
except Arizona. Arizona's had enough holidays. They don't want to celebrate anything.
Arizona, what a punk ass state. Really, I love the physical look of Arizona. I start to get annoyed at that it's become a refuge for people who you don't even know the meaning of the word freedom.
Like Kirsten Sinema.
Well, you got her, and then you got that assemblage of I don't know what they were, but disjointed looking human beings that made up the Trump rally this weekend.
Oh, I know what you mean. I didn't see it. I didn't see any video of the rally. Was it absurd?
It was bad. It was
how's Trump's patter? Is he losing his edge?
Yeah. Well, he's just talking about the same crap. They stole the election. Everybody doesn't like me. Nobody loves me. I'm the best. Keep America great. You saw how great America was when he was president. You couldn't go out of the house.
He needs new crap. He can't be selling the same old crap. That would be like selling White Castle after the expiration date.
Yeah, you don't want any part of that. I mean, you're rolling the dice when you're eating them anyway. Now, do I have to roll the dice with with two dice that have somewhere on them 14 holes in the dice?
What I want to know is a White Castle burger food, or is it just a food stuff?
Oh, it's 100% beef. In the burger is. I don't know about
because there's 3 fragments of an onion on there. Don't forget that.
But Mikey, the White Castle hamburger on its own is probably one of the best things you could buy. Food pieces of food, because it's 100% beef. It's has holes in the middle, 5 holes. It looks like a die.
That's so stuff can get out.
Well, so the flavor can get into the bun. It can get steamed. So the flavor can go through. Now, I don't know about the ingredients in the bun. I don't know about the onion. I'm sure that it's some kind of process that they go through with the onion because it's chopped up and put in water. So it's not that same onion that you're going out to the onion plant, picking it out and cutting it up and putting it on there and frying it up.
It's not a sweet Washington onion.
Yeah, it's not a Walla Walla. Yeah, no, I don't think they're using Walla Wallas. Although I have taken Walla Wallas and put them on a White Castle hamburger.
Ooh, now you're living.
See, sometimes you have to make adjustments, just like you do with the fish wish. The fish.
Well, if we were in a White Castle in Queens, New York, I would eat 5 of them right now. But getting them at the dollar store gives me reason to worry about my eventual demise.
Well, we're all going to go sometime, Mikey. And I'd rather go with White Castle onion breath and, than whatever else is going to come out.
You make a good point.
Do you care what you smell like after you go?
Not much.
Yeah, neither do I.
And over time, it's not going to be good no matter what you do.
The longer you wait, the worse it's going to smell. So you may as well.
It only gets better, let's say, after 18 months.
Yeah, you may as well just give the person who's going to do your autopsy something to believe in.
And it won't be Chanel number 5.
Yeah, you just that's got to be the worst job in the world, huh? Just opening up people's stomachs and recording what they have inside of them.
Especially if you die in a White Castle, they can pretty much guess what they're going to see. Oh, look, this burger has holes in it. I'll be damned. So does the victim.
Then why was he there? Well,
He didn't know he was going to meet a 45.
he didn't know that the orange drink was a little tainted. Well, Mikey, sometimes a White Castle is not a good place to be at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's the greatest place in the world.
But yeah, you will meet everyone, so be prepared.
I was there and got held up. I didn't get held up. The store got held up. 2 consecutive visits. The first time from the guy behind me in line. I was, you go to White Castle and you have the 2 windows. You give him your order here, and then you move down to this window. Well, I gave him my order, and the guy behind me, I would start to walk down the thing, and I hear the woman say, "Oh," and I look, and there's a guy holding a gun on the person saying, "Give me the money in the register."
Didn't he say this is a holdup?
He said, "Give me the money in the register."
Because the comeback is, no, it's not a holdup. It's a White Castle. Get in line. What's your order?
Some of the people I've known that worked at White Castle, that's exactly how it would go.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I was in the same White Castle on 88th and Northern, and standing in line, the guy in front of me pulls out a gun.
Whoa. So things have changed.
And holds the gun, said, "Give me all your money."
So in the first one, at least you got your cheeseburger. But in the second one, you probably didn't get your order.
No, I didn't get it either, because once the gunman was there and got the money and took off, nobody could leave. They stopped making the hamburgers. So I'm standing there for an hour waiting for the cops because, I'm a witness. I saw what happened.
They were at Orange Julius. Took them a while to get there.
Yeah. They were in the back of the Heights Diner. Who knew? If we thought there was going to be a holdup, we would have stopped at the gas station across the street.
And waited. We'd have been here. We'd have been Johnny on the spot.
Would have been a tough weekend for us because we would have had to work, but we would have figured something out. After all, it is what they pay us for.
By the way, that spot that Johnny's always on, is that in Queens?
Yes, right. It's a matter of fact, it's on 49th Street and 25th Avenue. They call it Spotless Cleaners.
And that's where Johnny is when he's on the spot?
Johnny on the spot, man.
Damn.
If you need it, it's in Queens, Michael. I mean, everybody talks about Manhattan, but whatever you need, you can get in Queens for half price.
You don't need to go across the bridge. That would be a waste of time.
You don't need to go across the bridge. And now that they're going to institute, what do they call it? Congestion tolling. Now when you go into Manhattan, you're going to have to pay to go into Manhattan.
A Manhattan fee.
Right. Just to go in and drive around. It's, going to be $25, $30, $40.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. No, they're not. They're trying to. Listen, for years and years and years, they've been trying to figure out a way to keep cars from going into Manhattan. They'll do it in LA. It'll happen in most major cities in another 10 years. If you want to go into downtown Manhattan or LA, you're going to have to take public transportation.
Well, here it'll be the 405 fee.
Yeah.
I want to go on the 405. You can go on the 405, but that's going to be $40.
Yeah, it's free going that way out of the city.
Yeah.
And it's more money coming in.
That's why they call it highway robbery, because that's where they rob you, on the highway going into town.
Bruce Springsteen will be writing songs about it. Right.
I like that idea.
That's why they have, they'll have a whole album of songs about robbing on the highway and, highway patrol, highway toll collector will be one of the new songs.
Is the fee from Jersey more or the same as from the other boroughs?
The toll from Jersey you pay going into Manhattan, but you don't pay anything leaving Manhattan.
Then maybe they should work on that.
Well, Mikey, if you had to pay to go into New Jersey, who the hell would go?
Someone who paid to go into Manhattan and doesn't have any place to go.
No, at that point, I mean, if they're going to charge you $40 to go into downtown Manhattan, they may as well make sure that you have a car that you can sleep in or something. Because it's going to be ridiculous. But they have to do something. They feel they have to do something about the traffic. They've tried everything in the world.
What if I don't want to go downtown? What if I want to go to the Village? Same thing?
Well, I don't know that there's some kind of thought, from what I've been reading, that it would only apply to 14th Street to 96th Street.
There you go.
So that all of the rich people in Manhattan that live, outside of the downtown, the midtown zone, wouldn't be charged.
And do people still drive around the block hoping to get a parking spot in those neighborhoods? Yeah.
Oh, it's a sport in New York.
It's a good sport.
It's a sport, man. It's like, I do it. Whenever I go to New York, I love to drive into Manhattan and look around for a parking space and find, as a matter of fact, I've done a whole video about the best parking space in New York City.
Where is it?
On the YouTube channel, if you scroll down and look for best parking space in New York Vinnie, I'll show you in New York City. I'll show you where it is.
$40.
No, I'm a charitable type. I'll give it to you.
Well, give me this, Vinny, if you can. Tonight, the Cardinals host the Rams. What do you got?
You know what? I know that the Rams are this and the Rams are that, but I've seen the Cardinals showing off scattered patches of greatness.
Yes.
And I just got a funny feeling that you could put money on the Cardinals this year and do well for yourself.
I think it'll be a game similar to the Cowboys and 49ers, but the Cardinals will come back and win.
Somebody's going to make a mistake late in the game with the lights turned down low, huh?
Make him roll to the right. He'll throw it right to you.
I could see worse things in the world than the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. I really could, I really could.
Everybody's got to play at Lambeau, though, to get there. That's going to be tough.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Every once in a while, there's always a team that breaks through and says, I don't screw this. I'm just going to go out there and kick some ass. And it actually works.
It actually works. The ass is kicked and the game is won.
Right. So I think that, people have bad days. So much lately, it seems not hard to catch Aaron Rodgers on a bad day. He has many more bad days now than he usually does.
He hasn't had one recently, but you're right. We could catch him. And I wonder if he's a guy who believes in sheet holder downers, or does he believe in the free access to the edge of the sheet? Or would he tell us the truth if he had the opportunity?
I don't think he'd tell us the truth, and I think he's a strange cat, Mikey. I don't know if he knows what he believes in. I don't know that he might walk out and see something on his television screen, and that's his karma for the day, his mudita, his his all-knowing, all-seeing Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Well, as it is. That's good. There's actually a title of a book, the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yeah. Good for you. The
Hare Krishna.
I just have to know, is it ever happened in the Green Bay Packers huddle where he's ready to call a play and one of the linemen goes, "You took worm medicine from Seth Rogen? Is that what you did? You took worm medicine that was intended for horses and sheep? What the hell? How can we have any faith in you when you go hut hut, if this is how you treat your body?"
You would have to think so, but listen, we've spent a lot of years covering the NFL, and there's people who really just don't care. I mean, it's 11 guys out on the field, and they're all living most of the time in 11 different worlds.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So, you have the whole solar system out there.
I always trust the judgment of a lineman because they've seen it all, they've done it all, and they're big. And usually guys that big have a quiet demeanor about them, but they don't tolerate bullshit very well. Right.
But we see it every time you do an interview. It's that's what he's doing. I don't know. It's none of my business. It's not. I mean, these guys could see somebody get murdered on the field and they'd have 11 different versions of
I didn't see it, but I heard something else happen. I don't know. We'll never know.
I heard something. I don't know. Go check with the coach. Yeah. He'll tell you.
What does the coach say?
What does the coach say? It depends on what your job status is.
Well, tell me this. You're a defensive tackle. Would you, or have you, or do you intend to ever use a sheet holder downer?
No, because I wouldn't be seen as manly in the locker room. Wouldn't be seen as somebody who could be trusted. The first thing you have to do is get the confidence of your teammates, as you said
earn the
before, right?
trust. Earn the trust.
Yeah. So if people knew that I used those sheet holder downers, especially emblazoned with your and my picture on them.
We're just trying to do the world a favor.
Well, yeah, we know that, but we're dealing with people that get hit in the head for a living.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to reason with them.
Cousin Andy, in high school, he used to run into fences.
Andy was always different though, and he didn't care about the corners of his sheets.
No, I didn't use sheets.
And he didn't use our prayer cloth either, which really kind of, I don't want to say it pissed me off, but he should have gotten involved.
Well, he could have gotten, if he waited long enough, he probably could have gotten an entire Mikey and Vinnie bedroom set.
And
a little headboard with our pictures carved into the top, little dresser with Mikey and Vinnie knobs.
Should we have a microphone built in so we can monitor? Yeah, good.
With a little picture of Gary Payton on it.
Good idea.
So it would evoke memories of, when Gary used to do the show with us from his bedroom.
And sell the sponsorship to like Viking sandwiches.
Sonny Kobe Cook.
Done.
Sonny put in a good word for us.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Same thing.
You're thinking now you could try to sell it to Sonny Six Killer, but I'd rather have Sonny Kobe Cook selling it.
Good point.
I'm just saying.
I remember when you guys were sponsored by Viking sandwiches. That's how far back I go with Mikey and Vinnie. Whoa.
You mean you've actually had a Mighty Viking with the oil and the vinegar and the oregano and the garlic?
Yep. Yeah. And also, yeah, go ahead.
And the guy who sweats behind the counter. I think the guy that worked at Mighty Viking might have been a cousin of the guy who sold the beer at Candlestick Park.
Cold beer.
Cold beer, hot sweat.
Hey, that was a tough job. You know why? The steps were too far apart. You couldn't just go step, step, step. It was like step, half a step, and then step, half a step.
Right.
Candlestick Park was designed by somebody who never knew how those stairs were going to be used.
Kokomo out. I'm trying to think of what was the clown that used to come out of the inkwell. Coco, yes. It was designed by the architect who used Coco the clown as his.
I used to love that because the male hand would come in and he would draw beautifully and so fast.
Yeah. It was like your first exposure to half animation, half live action.
And it was magic.
And when you were 6 years old, I mean, it really was. Right?
It was.
It was like, that's how they do it. And then Coco jumps off of the pad and gets into trouble with his little dog Erasmus.
Coco the clown, and damn, the name of the dog.
I'm going to go with Erasmus until you come up with something better.
It was later Betty Boop's dog.
Yes. Yeah, because that was Max Fleischer's stuff, right?
Same thing. Yeah, Max Fleischer was the guy for both.
Yeah, that was Max
Betty
Fleischer.
And...
I don't know if he was the artist or just
No, he was the artist. He invented the rotoscope, the dancing.
Okay. That that was magical stuff when you were a kid.
Man. Oh God, yeah.
That was great. I always remember.
And I think one of them was on a train. The hand is sitting in a train drawing Coco, and he gets up and jumps out the window and gets into a mischief right away.
Wow. Now I'm going to spend half a day on YouTube looking up Max Fleischer cartoons.
Coco the clown, Betty Boop, and what the name was that dog? Poopsie. That's not it. Anyway, I remember we tried to sell them prayer towels. It didn't work. They weren't going for it. They had their own.
Well, yeah, they had, their prayers were in a different vein than ours.
Yeah.
They prayed for better writing skills. We prayed for.
Ratings.
Yes. We prayed. But even when we got them, it didn't help us ultimately.
Actually, the more we got, the worse it got.
Yeah, actually, that is true. As often happens in radio, right? You get great ratings, and they want you to get better ratings than great ratings.
You got the name of that dog yet?
I'm looking here. Let's see, Max Fleischer, creator Max Fleischer, Coco the Clown, cartoon character. Images, please. Give me the name of the Coco in color. Let's see. Yama Man, that's the best McCoy. I'm out of the inkwell, rotoscope skid, rolling crandall. No, I don't see it.
Pudgy.
Punchy.
Pudgy. Pudgy. Pudgy.
And Coco the Clown. Oh, wow. Coco the Clown was voiced by 3 people.
Mo
Gus
Curly.
Hickey in 1933. Cab Calloway.
Oh, yeah. He sang Minnie the Moocher.
And from 1960 and 1961, the person who voiced Coco the Clown is still with us.
Ed Sullivan? No, he's not with us.
Just celebrated his 98th birthday.
Tell me who.
Would have made a dream date for Betty White, who, by the way, today would have been her 100th birthday.
Good job, Betty.
Larry Storch.
Oh, my God. I would have never guessed. Because many times all they would do is go,
Yeah. Larry Storch. Corporal Agon from F Group, as many people remember him, and a number of other sitcom appearances in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
We're not sending the guy any more residual checks. No, he's alive. You gotta. Really? Yeah, you can send him a check.
If they're alive, you got. Yeah, imagine what his mailbox, because I mean, he was on a ton of stuff. He did, I don't know, 5 Love American styles. He was on a bunch of Love Boats. I almost wonder who had the bigger residual box, Jesse White or Larry Storch.
I hope Larry, but probably Jesse, because he did commercials.
Jesse, for many people who might not know, was the original Maytag repairman.
And he didn't have as much trouble as the new Maytag repairman has.
Yeah, Gordon Jump never came. He was the second guy.
He was too worried. He was worried about everything.
Yeah, he never looked comfortable.
If he showed up, he still wasn't going to be able to fix it. You could just tell.
Yeah, Jesse White didn't have. He had that "I don't care hither" kind of attitude.
He looked like he knew what the guy behind him in line at the White Castle was going to do,
and was smart enough to leave the building.
Didn't get his burgers.
It's okay. Given a choice of my burgers and my life, I'll choose my life.
I would too. Thanks for getting through both those situations.
Yes, and thank you to common sense that I had, that my father instilled in me, that said, just keep your mouth shut, nothing will happen.
Probably right.
Don't make any sudden moves.
And don't say, hey, what's the big idea here?
Yeah, we don't need another hero. We have plenty of heroes, and I hate to tell you where they live.
You find out that you're not going to be a hero. You're just going to be a casualty.
Yeah, and I don't want to be no casualty.
Vinnie, shall we get together on Wednesday and see if we can get these burgers eaten and the sheets held down?
Yes, Mikey, let's do that. And again, today, if you're so inclined, you have a chance. Bet one of Betty White's requests, I believe I read somewhere, may just be a made-up story, I don't know, but it's not a bad idea. Stick your hand in your pocket, pull out $5 or your credit card or your debit card, and call your local animal shelter and drop $5 on them.
They can always use it.
They can use it, or go go to Costco, grab yourself a big bag of dog food, and drop it by at your local rescue shelter.
But I'm warning you, don't go in and look. Oh, if you're not prepared to take home 2 dogs and a cat, don't go in and look.
It's bad news, man. You can easily
break your heart, but then you got a whole new family.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna wind up going down there, and when we get together on Wednesday, there'll be like some big mutt hanging out behind me.
A big dog and maybe a llama, a llama.
Well, I got a small backyard, Mike. I probably could put a llama out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if the neighbors would go for it.
Well, who's going to argue with a llama?
I'm not gonna. I learned, as we talked about earlier in the show, you learn not to argue with animals.
That's right.
Ask
the guys who taunt
San Francisco Zoo. They will tell you.
Ask any of the famous or infamous taunters out there.
And well-deserved penalties they paid.
Charges may vary in Texas and other areas.
Yes, and double plant stamps on Wednesday, by the way. All right, Mikey, we'll do this again on Wednesday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. And follow us on Facebook. Go to YouTube. You can get an archive. And if you do go to YouTube, remember to hit the subscribe button and the like button that are down below me here, because we hope that someday YouTube will send us, Mikey and Vinnie, our very own residual check.
There you go. With Larry Storch's picture on the check.
As long as you can cash it, Pally, with very few exceptions, I don't care whose picture you put on.
No, peace, love, and sheet holder downers.
And a Chevitz, baby.
Have a good one, Ben.
All right, Mikey, take care of yourself. Bye-bye, everybody. See you on Wednesday.